On a grocery shelf, a can looks almost boring. You expect tuna, beans, soup, maybe tomatoes. Something simple, something safe. Then someone opens one, and canned food suddenly becomes much stranger. Out slides a whole-cooked chicken, or a cheeseburger, or a loaf of bread shaped by metal, or mac and cheese that has somehow become a trembling cylinder. Sometimes it is even pork brains and gravy. The question is not just who decided to sell these things, it is how one of the most practical food inventions in history became a container for some of the strangest meals humans have ever sold. Before the burger, chicken, and brains, the can had a much more serious job, keeping people alive. Let's get into it right here on Secrets of Simple Things. A war problem hidden in the pantry. Canned food did not begin as a supermarket convenience. It began as a military problem. In the early 1800s, Napoleon's France needed to feed soldiers on long campaigns. Fresh food spoiled, supply lines broke, and hunger could weaken an army before battle. So the French government offered a prize for better preservation. The answer came from Nicolas Appert, a French confectioner who found that sealed, heated food lasted longer. He did not fully understand microbes, but the method worked. Seal the food, apply heat, and slow decay. The idea spread. Glass jars gave way to stronger metal cans, including early tin-plated iron designs. They were heavy and awkward, but they survived ships, warehouses, battlefields, and long storage. At first, canned food was almost a novelty. Then wars made it necessary. Soldiers got used to it, industries scaled up, and companies began preserving entire meals. Canned food was invented to fight time, distance, and decay. But once humans discovered that food could survive for months, even years, inside a sealed container, the question changed. It was no longer just, how do we preserve food? It became, what else can we put in there? Why a can hold almost anything? A can is not just a container. It is a tiny protection system. Food goes inside. The container is sealed. Heat controls the invisible things that make food spoil. Once air, bacteria, and outside contamination are blocked away, the food lasts far longer than it could on a plate. That simple idea changed more than storage. It changed imagination. Food no longer belonged only to the place where it was made. It could cross oceans, move with soldiers, sit in a camper's backpack, wait in a pantry, or reach someone who missed home. A meal became portable, a tradition became shelf-stable, and once that became possible, the food industry pushed further. If soup could survive, why not stew? If stew could survive, why not a full meal? And if a full meal could survive, why not a burger, sandwich, loaf of bread, or entire chicken? The can did not just preserve food, it changed what people believed food could become. And the first place that belief became truly strange was in the dream of perfect convenience. When convenience became weird. The canned cheeseburger sounds like a joke, but it was real. It was sold mostly for campers, hikers, survival kits, and anyone trading freshness for impossible convenience. Inside was a complete cheeseburger, bun, patty, cheese, and condiments, all waiting in a sealed metal room. You boiled the can, opened it, and out came a warm burger, or something trying very hard to be one. The problem is that burgers are not built for this. Bread wants air. Cheese wants melt. A patty wants grill heat, not a long stay in a can. So the result could feel like a tired copy of a burger. Soft bread, sleepy cheese, and fast food turned into emergency equipment. Then came the candwich, a canned peanut butter and jelly sandwich. A PB&J is already simple, yet someone still made it more portable and prepared. For emergency kits and campers, that makes sense. Humans do not only want fast food, we want food that waits. Canned mac and cheese takes the idea further. Instead of loose noodles in creamy sauce, it can slide out as a trembling orange cylinder. And then there were hamburger patties in gravy, a grocery relic from the age of Salisbury steak convenience. Round pieces of meat floating in brown sauce, ready to heat and serve. These foods are strange because they try to turn comfort food into survival food. But not every strange canned food was invented to save time. Some only look strange because they come from a different place. Weird to outsiders, normal, somewhere else. Some canned foods are strange because they push convenience too far. Others are strange only because they come from a world we do not know. Take canned haggis. To someone outside Scotland, it can sound intense. Sheep's heart, liver and lungs mixed with oats, spices and fat. But in Scotland, haggis is not a dare. It is tradition, tied to family tables and Burns night. Put it in a can, and it becomes easier to ship and store. What looks shocking may simply be homesickness with a pull tab. Canned reindeer meat works the same way. In many places, reindeer brings up Christmas before dinner. But in parts of the Nordic world, it is practical meat, shaped by cold weather and long winters. Its flavor is often compared to lean beef or venison, and canning helps it travel into stews and storage rooms. Then there is canned tongue. Beef, pork, and veal tongue may feel unusual to modern shoppers, but many cuisines across Europe, Latin America, and Asia have used it for generations. It needs slow cooking to become tender, so a canned version solves a problem. It can be sliced for sandwiches, tacos, or salads. Even canned brown bread has its own logic. In New England, brown bread is steamed inside a can, creating a dark, molasses-heavy cylinder often served with beans or butter. To outsiders, it looks like bread that forgot how bread should look. To locals, it is familiar. And then there is spotted dick, a British steamed pudding made with suet and dried fruit. Most of the weirdness comes from the name. The canning part actually fits the tradition, because steamed puddings have long been cooked in enclosed containers. Sometimes weird does not mean wrong. It just means a local food has entered a global package. Still, some canned foods feel strange even before you taste them, because the can changes the way they look. When the can gives food a new body. A can does not only protect food, it also gives food a new body. With solid foods, the can starts to behave almost like a mold. It presses, holds, and reshapes the meal until it begins to look less cooked and more manufactured. The clearest example is the whole chicken in a can. The idea is practical enough. Cooked chicken without roasting a chicken. Open, heat, serve. It could be used in casseroles, slow cooker meals, or any recipe where convenience mattered more than presentation. But when an entire bird slides out in a layer of jelly, practicality becomes spectacle. It is still chicken, but it no longer feels like the chicken we expect from an oven or a plate. Canned brown bread is gentler, but just as revealing. Bread usually suggests warmth, air, crust, and a soft, uneven inside. In a can, it becomes a perfect cylinder. The flavor may still be traditional, but the shape tells you exactly where it was born. Canned mac and cheese does something similar. A creamy bowl of noodles becomes a firm orange mass, something that can be sliced instead of scooped. The can turns food into an object. And sometimes, that object feels stranger than the food itself. But there is one final category where the weirdness is not just about shape. It is about how close the food brings us to the animal it came from. The foods that feel too honest. Some canned foods feel strange because they are unfamiliar. Others feel strange because they are almost too clear about where food comes from. Pork brains in milk gravy may sound designed to shock people, but historically it belonged to a practical way of eating. In parts of the American South, pork brains were once served for breakfast, sometimes with eggs or biscuits. To earlier generations, this was not bizarre. It was thrift, habit, and a way to use as much of the animal as possible. Canned tongue follows the same logic. Modern shoppers are used to meat that has been trimmed, packaged, and made almost anonymous. Tongue does not let you forget what it is. It reminds you directly that meat was once part of a living body. A whole chicken in a can creates a similar reaction. Chicken itself is not strange. But when the bird appears almost complete, sliding out of metal in one piece, it removes the distance we are used to. Some canned foods feel unsettling because they remove the distance modern shoppers usually keep from the animal. Pork brains also faded partly because they are extremely high in cholesterol. But cultural distance matters too. Food that once looked practical can become uncomfortable when people forget why it was normal. So these cans are not just strange products. They are small clues about what humans want from food. What these strange cans reveal. So the next time you see a quiet little can on a supermarket shelf, it may not look like much, but hidden inside that object is a larger story: war, preservation science, industrial food, local culture, and one very human desire: to make food resist time. That is why the strangest canned foods are more than jokes. A canned cheeseburger, whole chicken, haggis, reindeer meat, tongue, canned bread, mac and cheese, pudding, or pork brains can make us laugh, stare, or turn away. Together they reveal something deeper. And we often call something weird simply because we do not know the history, climate, or culture that made it normal somewhere else. The strangest thing about canned food is not that humans put weird things inside cans. It is that once we learned how to preserve food in metal, we started testing what food could become. The can did not just preserve food. It preserved our strangest ideas about convenience. If this story made you look at an ordinary can a little differently, subscribe to Secrets of Simple Things and tell us in the comments, what everyday object should we open up next? Sometimes the simplest things on the shelf are hiding the strangest stories.